You got the orange one.
I got the orange one because it's your favorite color.
18, finally an adult.
18, you're finally an adult.
I can't wait to start getting considered for more grown-up roles.
Guys, today is such a special day because it is Ryan's birthday.
Sing me the song.
Birthday. 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 Happy birthday.
For those of you who don't know, it is daddy tradition to sing happy birthday, but omitting all the words except birthday.
Yeah.
I don't know why I think it's so funny, but
I do
really
too.
do.
It's really funny. But yeah, so today is Ryan's birthday as you guys are watching this video. So everybody go give Ryan all of the love publicly or else it doesn't count.
Otherwise it doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
What is a birthday without random acknowledgement on social media but once a year?
Exactly.
Can't wait to check my Facebook wall, because this is the only time I ever log into Facebook to see all the random people from high school who are like, happy birthday, miss you. I'm like, you've never thought about me. Except for that weird alert you get on the side of your Facebook.
So what are we talking about today, Ryan?
Today is Monday, so it is a How to Relationship Day here on the Sam and Ryan YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And we have seen a lot of comments on these videos saying like, wow, cool, like can't wait to use this advice if I'm ever in a relationship. Like, oh, what a helpful handbook for me to use in 5 years when I finally get asked out. So we thought it would be apropos to do a How to Relationship, except in this case, a How to Not Relationship. Because being in a relationship is lovely, being with you is a treasure and a highlight of my life. But I have learned just as much, if not more, about myself not being in a relationship as I have being in a relationship.
Yeah.
And we both have very different, but I think equally important perspectives about life without being partnered as we do with life being partnered. And we wanted to share that with you because we're seeing a lot of that in the comments. So this is a very special edition of How to Relationship on my birthday.
Yeah.
How to Not Relationship. So for me, I am a serial monogamist. I mean, like in high school, I was always trying to find that next relationship. I would break up, I would immediately find my next crush. They're my next, like, target.
Yeah.
Like, get with them, date them for a couple months, and then we would break up, and then on to the next. All throughout high school, I was partnered. Moved to Los Angeles, was single for a little while, immediately found someone who I was working with. We dated. Then I found someone else I was working with. We dated. So, like, I am a serial monogamist. I have always sort of partnered myself. However, I had a serious girlfriend at the end of my high school experience. We broke up, and from that point up until I met someone here in Los Angeles, you know, sort of like a year and a half, almost 2 years later, I was single. I was single for about a year before I met Sam. And those time periods were exceptional for my individual growth.
Yeah, and all of that is very different from my experience with dating. I did not date in middle school, I did not date in high school, very much intentionally. Because at the time, I knew that those years especially were so formative, and I wanted to focus that energy on myself and my friends. I didn't start dating until I was 18 and was already in Los Angeles, and I'm so glad that I didn't date in high school because I moved cross country when I was 16. And because I was spending all of my time in high school focusing on myself and on my friends, yes, my friends were hard to leave, but I'm so glad that I wasn't in some it's us against the world relationship in high school, because that could have prevented me from pursuing a life for myself. And I actually get a lot of fan questions of people asking for advice because they feel like they should be dating in high school. Or, you know, people will say like, I'm 16 and I've never had a boyfriend, or I'm 18 and I've never had a boyfriend. And honestly, my initial response to that when I read it is like, good for you! Like, I hope that you've been spending this time, like, just having fun, not putting any pressure on being in a relationship. I know that when you're in school, especially in high school, and people naturally start coupling up, it all of a sudden feels like, oh, I must be missing out on something. Like, I need to be in a relationship to get the full high school experience. You don't, really. I'm sure it's fun to date in high school, but for me, I just saw it cause so much unnecessary drama. Like, me and my friends were just having the time of our lives. Like, I still went to prom, but I went with friends or, like, guy friends who asked me to be their date. I just really wanted to talk about the fact that so many people feel like they are missing out when they are single, and I just don't think that that's the case.
Yeah, like, missing out on what? Like, opportunities to stunt your own growth? Really awkward sexual experiences with people who don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Completely misinterpreted and misinformed fights that never come to any natural conclusion and make you feel like crap about yourself.
High school drama? You don't need that.
And I don't want to come, like, if you're 16 and in a happy relationship, good for you.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying if you're young, it's impossible to be in a good relationship. But I also don't want anyone to be left with the assumption that if you're young, it's impossible for you to get all of the things you want to get because you're not in a relationship. We've said this in a previous video, but being in a relationship is but one slice of a very complicated pie that is your life.
Yeah.
And I think, especially in the West, from social media and movies and television, we are kind of pitched this idea that, like, being in a relationship is the be-all, end-all of your life. It is not the be-all, end-all of your life.
No.
Having purpose in your life far supersedes having a partner in your life. Finding meaning in your work, finding joy in your relationships that are your friends and your family and your coworkers and everything, having hobbies that enrich you, having a lifestyle that enthralls you, like having a reason to get out of bed in the morning that is not tethered to another person is way more important on the totem pole than being in a relationship. Way more. And hopefully enriching all of those aspects of your life makes the relationship that you do inevitably get in mean more.
Yeah.
But the relationship isn't going to mean anything if your life doesn't mean anything. And if you try to glue your life together by assuming the relationship is going to be everything, you're going to be left feeling sadly disappointed. And that is the case whether you are 16, 25, or 40.
To that point, it's one of those things where I started dating when I decided I wanted to start dating. I was an adult. I had witnessed a lot of relationships around me in my life. I had learned through those experiences and just through observing what I wanted in a relationship, what I wanted to pursue in a relationship. And so when the time came that I was actually presented with an opportunity that I wanted to take, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm making this a conscious choice. I'm not just going on a date because I feel like I have to. Like, I actually want this. And that is so important. And just looking back at my high school experience, again, if you are dating in high school, like, there's nothing wrong with that. But one of the biggest reasons that I am so glad that I didn't date in high school is because when you're in high school, you're still trying to figure out what it is that you want. Like I said, I decided to move across the country at 16. Like, I don't know if I would have realized that that's what I wanted if I was in a relationship. Because when you're in high school feels like such a massive thing. It's 4 years, and that 4 years feels like it is going to last forever. But it doesn't. And I feel like because high school feels like it's so big and that it lasts forever and that everything there is so serious, a lot of people in high school take everything that happens there so seriously and try and transition that into their adult life. And I'm sorry, but I think one of the biggest things people take from high school is relationships. In high school, you are basically asked to plan your early adult life, going to college. Please don't make a decision to go to college, to not go to college, which college to go to, solely based off of a relationship.
I did. Like, I was in a super serious relationship at the end of my high school experience, and she was 1 year older than me, and she went off to a college, and that is the only college I applied for. Then I got into that college, then we broke up, then I went to that college, realized I had no business being there, and dropped out after a semester. Like, you should never plan your life based on anybody.
Yeah.
And we're putting a lot of this in terms of like high school, because I think a lot of the comments that we're getting are from people who are younger, but nothing lasts forever. High school doesn't last forever. That one job you have doesn't last forever.
College.
Your 20s, your 30s, college, nothing lasts forever. And I think a lot of the times people predicate their entire relationship based on one common experience that they have with someone. And the fact that you're both seniors at the same high school, both freshmen at the same college, or both leads in the same show is not enough to base an entire relationship on. What this really comes down to is you have to flesh yourself out fully as a human before you go seeking a relationship. And if you see people around you getting partnered who aren't fully fleshed out, you are not missing something. They are. Taking the time to actually get to know yourself before you find yourself partnered is way more healthy than finding yourself partnered and figuring yourself out as you go, because it is so easy to think that your goals and your partner's goals are the same goals just because they're there right in front of you. But that is not always, and almost usually is not, the case. So, if nothing else, I would love for the purpose of this video to be to change the narrative. No matter how old you are, if you're in a successful, thriving relationship, good for you. No matter how old you are, if you're single and taking the time to figure out who you are, good for you.
Yes!
Being partnered, it is not the be-all end-all. It is not the most important thing. You are the most important thing. And if you are enriched and celebrated in a relationship and that works for you, great. But if you are alone and enriched and celebrated, that is the most important thing. Let's change this narrative.
Yes.
This idea of like you must be partnered and it's so important to be partnered and look at how great it is when we're partnered. It is so toxic and it is so untrue, because so many people subsidize the happiness they could have when they're alone on the notion of I'll find it when I'm partnered. I'll be happy once I finally have a boyfriend. It's toxic, it's untrue, and it's useless. So for all of those people who were in the comments saying, oh my God, I wish I could be in a relationship, I have nowhere to use any of this advice, good for you. Guess what is the most important relationship in the entire world? Your relationship with you.
Yourself.
So all of these things that we're saying, communication, openness, awareness, adaptation, acceptance, trust.
Nice.
These are things that you need to have with yourself before you open yourself up and have them with another person. And if you spend your entire life alone but happy, I would so much rather you live that way than partnered but even slightly less than you could be.
Wow. That was great. Well, hopefully everyone who was watching this video was able to take something from it and apply it into your own life. Please, if you guys have been thinking of subjects that you would love to see us cover in this How to Relationship or How to Not Relationship series, please comment them in the comments down below and we will take a look.
But most importantly, wish me a happy birthday.
Yes! Happy birthday, Ryan!
And as always, be sure to like and subscribe,
Daddy.
That could be my birthday present.
Yes, like and subscribe. And we will see you guys in a future video.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, Daddy.